Focus on my red lights.
Ain't turning back. Now that I'm back on track, yeah. Take my word from it. Put a couple bands on it. And I don't plan on letting people turn me. No. You can say what you want. I'ma keep pressing on. I can't go pop that green light. I'm feeling green right. Talking to my past life. Focus on my red lights. Cruising to my future now.
You just can't get enough of breaking the silence. Hello, hello, hello. For those of you who are watching us for the first time and you're like, what is this? Who are these ladies up on my screen disturbing my time? But well, you are going to enjoy this hour long. We have prepared so much for you. But for those of you who are watching us for the first time, we want to introduce ourselves. We don't want to be rude, so we want to be courteous. My name is Angeli.
I'm Nori.
I'm Shaitia.
And we are breaking the silence. And today, as I've mentioned, we have a jam-packed show for all of you. We
sure
have
do.
topics that maybe it's not really spoken about, but here in Breaking the Silence, we are going to raise awareness. We also have a little laugh out loud segment.
Yes.
Oh,
So who is going to be the queen of comedy today? I wonder who. Let me wear
Not
my
me.
crown already.
I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try my
I have
very
some
best.
good ones. I have some good ones today.
We'll see later on. But let us go to our topics. We are going to give you some of them, and one of the things that we're going to be talking about today, this one is something really sensitive, really something that you need to really put a lot of thought when you talk about it, because you never really know what another person is going through. This is understanding and coping with miscarriage. So later on in the show, we're going to raise awareness, we're going to talk about it and the impact that it does, you know, on mothers and women that actually went through it. Another one as well is staying human in the age of artificial intelligence. As you know, technology, hey, we are not robots, okay? Just to make that clear. We are humans. We are not made up. We are all humans here. So we just wanted to let you know that, you know, we have some cons and pros as well when we go to technology, although there's a lot of advancements already, modern technology, and it's helpful, yes, it's convenient, but there are also some things that we need to talk about. So later on in the show, we are going to be talking about the pros and cons, what you can do to stay alert, and what you can do to stay human in this age, okay? So I'll let you breathe. I'll let you take that all in, because later on, we're just going to go full force with all our topics and also our Laugh Out Loud segment. So let's go on a quick break, and we'll be right back.
We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
Breaking the silence is where ripples become waves of change. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
So sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Let's strive to grow together on Breaking the Silence.
Stronger together. Breaking the Silence is your community for support and inspiration.
How do you find strength after a loss? Today in Breaking the Silence, we are going to be diving into a topic that's very sensitive, but it's also something very important to talk about, and this is the topic of miscarriage. Ladies, let us raise awareness and let us break the silence together.
All right, but before we actually do start talking about this, we can't forget about the question of the day as well. And we wanted to pull that up really quick for you guys. That way you have time in order to send in your comments, because we would love to hear from all of you. So there it goes. And it says, share an interesting fact you learned recently. This is very interesting. I think Tia's gonna like this one because Tia's always learning something new. She's always sharing something new with all of us.
It took me so hard to pick just one.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
We do have our QR code though that you can be able to scan. There goes our QR code. You can scan that. It is going to take you to our Instagram page, and you can be able to leave your comments. For those of you who are listening to us, you can't see the QR code obviously, but you can go to @breakingthesilence_talk-show. All right, we want to hear from you guys towards the end of the program. We're definitely going to read what they had to share with us, right, ladies?
Yes.
All right, so are we ready to talk about this topic?
Yes.
It's a very serious topic. You know, I think a lot of people don't give much attention to it. Whenever it comes to miscarriage, I've always heard people say, you know, it's fine. And I've heard these phrases, it's fine, it's gonna be okay. You can be able to have more children. But that's not something, I don't think, for me, it's not
insensitive.
There you go. It's not something you say to someone who experienced a loss.
Especially if you haven't experienced it yourself.
Exactly.
I always tell people there's no words to say. You know, there's nothing I can say to help you feel better, to make things better. So I think that's something that we have to pay attention to. Like sometimes just being there is enough without you having to say something. Just being there is enough for that person.
I believe that too.
And there's a lot of emotional impact, you know, when this happened. For example, again, you're losing that, you know, a loved one, that you carried for how many months, how many weeks, with that hope in mind that, hey, I'm gonna be able to hold this baby in my own arms. You're the one there, you know, feeling the pain, you know, mourning sickness. So it's not something easy, as both of you said. And one of the emotional impact of miscarriage is, again, grief and sadness. With every loss, you know, there's always grievance. There's always sadness there. And we cannot be that person to judge, okay, you should only grieve for this amount of time, or, you know, don't think about it anymore, or, you know, you have other children, because sometimes, you know, they already had children, but then it happened, and then think about your older children, how about them? You know, how can you not be a mother to your other kids? So it's not something that you just want to pinpoint and say and brush it off, because again, you don't know what that person is going through and what that person went through.
You know, another thing would be anger and resentment as well. Somebody going through that, they would have a lot of anger inside. You know, they would probably even lash out because it's like, how could this happen? Or maybe they don't feel like they're being understood. Resentment as well for maybe whatever or whoever they might think contributed to them having that miscarriage
Yeah.
as well. So I think anger and resentment also is a part of it.
And you know, sometimes they feel guilty or they feel ashamed.
Yeah.
Like the mother to be, you know, they feel like maybe I didn't take care of myself well
Right.
enough. Maybe I didn't do this. Maybe I didn't do that. And they have that guilt. They have that shame, even to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women who have a miscarriage and they can't even talk about it because they think it was their fault, but
Yeah.
it wasn't their fault.
You know, there's no specific, you know, this is the reason why it happened, this is the reason why it didn't or whatever. I mean, sometimes it really just happens. And I have a personal experience. I remember in my younger years, you know, when I used to go out, you know, hang out, party all the time with one of my cousins. And it so happened we went to kind of like a party, you know, we were just having fun. We were drinking and doing all of these things. Little did she know that she was pregnant at the time. She was maybe like about 3 months pregnant, and she did not know. And when she found out, she felt so guilty. She felt so bad. She felt so guilty. She felt so heavy because now she was constantly worried, like, okay, what if my baby comes out with some type of defect? Or what if my baby, you know, and it's just a constant worry that only a person that has gone through it can really truly understand what it does to a person emotionally, mentally, and also affect those around them as well.
Because imagine, as a mother, you want what's best for your unborn child, you know? You don't want to harm, like, intentionally. So when that thing when it happens, for you in your mind, I could have, I should have, you know, what if, all these what ifs. But actually, it's something that it's not what you did or what you should have not done. You know, as again, Nori was saying, it could happen to anybody, and it could be just a result of, you know, some external factors that you did not know of. If, you know, mind you, 10 to 20% of pregnancies are, you know, are miscarriage. So there's a lot of miscarriages that are, and sometimes they're not even reported because, as you said, because they're, you know, ashamed of it, not even to talk about it. Because again, what are people going to think? What are people going to, you know, to think of me now that I've lost, you know, an unborn child? And that could lead to depression. That could lead to loneliness, anxiety as well. Imagine having, if you're, okay, you get pregnant again, how is that bond for the next pregnancy? How is it going to be? You're going to be too extra careful, too extra anxious. You know, you're just, okay, you don't want to breathe anymore because now I need to do everything right. And sometimes you're just going, like, you know, too much. Pressure on yourself, pressure on your family, pressure on, you know, the things around you, because now you wanted to do everything right when, again, it's not nobody's fault.
You know, I think isolation too, whenever a woman goes through miscarriage, she tends to isolate herself. And I say that because I have another loved one as well. She actually went through miscarriage. When they told her that something was wrong, she started going crazy in the sense that she started trying to figure out all the things that she can do to not have that miscarriage, you know, take place. She was lifting her feet up. She was laying down in certain positions. She didn't want to do anything. She didn't want to strain herself. She didn't want to do anything at all. Certain things she wouldn't eat. There's certain things she started eating and whatnot. And it still happened. She still, unfortunately, she still had the miscarriage. And when she had that miscarriage, she didn't want to speak to anybody. She didn't even want to speak to us because when she first got pregnant, it was that excitement of spreading it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby and this and that. You're going to be an aunt or you're going to be uncle and this and that. Like, everyone knew. So when she had that miscarriage, she completely isolated herself from everything, from everyone. And it really took her to a dark place because it's like, she just couldn't shake off that sadness. It was such an immense sadness that there was nothing that you can do, nothing that you can say that would cheer her up, that can cheer her up. And that, if a person doesn't have a good support system, then they're gonna struggle, and they're going to struggle a lot. So that's why it's also good to have a good support system.
And you know, that's a way for someone to cope, is to make sure they're surrounding themselves with people who get them. And they have to allow themselves to grieve. And I think that as they have that support system is gonna give them the time that they need to grieve. Because many times, you know, you see women, they put on the brave face. You know, they're like, as Angelique was saying earlier, you know, like, oh, you have up the kids, you got to take care of your family, you got to do this, she never really fully, you know, gets past that. She don't grieve, she don't let go of what happened, and she's burying it deep down inside. And that hurt is gonna carry on for so long. And you know, these miscarriages, because I have a family member as well, it took her 10 years. 10 years. She has a daughter that's 10. And after her daughter, she wanted, you know, another child so she can have siblings. And she had like maybe 13 miscarriages.
Wow.
So many miscarriages back to back, you know. And it's like it got to the point she was afraid to even get her hopes up. You know, as soon as she would get pregnant, she would just be like, okay, let's see if this one is gonna work. And now she's pregnant, you know, her belly's big. She got through that stage of 20 weeks and now she's happy, she's sharing it. But she's also shared her story of how many times she was pregnant, how often she was let down. And it's sad because a lot of people didn't know it. And she held on to those people she could, but she had like her support. She didn't tell everybody, and I think that's what helped her get over it, because not everybody knew about it, but the people who knew helped her, encouraged her, motivated her, where today she didn't give up on the dream of having another child. Because many of them, after 13 miscarriages, you know, they will give up. They'll be like, I don't want this no more. I'm not gonna put myself through this pain. But today, you know, she's having a baby because of that support that support she had.
And if you don't allow yourself to grieve, most of the time you think that you're okay because, again, you have other responsibilities, but you can be triggered, you know, by a circumstance or a situation, and that could actually strain a relationship, you know, your spouse's relationship with your children, and you don't want that. You don't want to affect the future of your family, but you need to practice self-care. You need to allow yourself to grieve. You need to allow if you need to feel it at the moment, allow it to, you know, to vent, you know, let it out, but take care of yourself, because again, we always say here that you're the only one who can take care of yourself. Although you have, you know, your support system, they can't do everything for you. So at the end of the day, you either take the help that they're offering you or you just shoo them away, because they can be there anytime for you 24/7. But if you're the one who's ignoring it, you're the one who's not wanting to accept, you know, whatever help they can offer you, at the end of the day, they can only help much, you know. They can only do so much, but at the end of the day, you have to be the one to really take care of yourself.
I think also remembering the loss is another way you can be able to cope with it. You know, you can probably do something in remembrance to that child that you lost, whether it's planting a tree, you know, or doing something in memory of the child that you lost. Because when it comes to losses, it doesn't matter whether it's a person or a pregnancy that you lost. It's hurtful, it's painful. You know, the feeling of a loss, there's nothing that anyone can do in order to kind of heal that. Over time, it will get better, but deep down inside, you know, you're always going to have that memory. You're always going to have maybe even those questions like, what if he would have been born or she would have been born? Right now, he would have been 2. Right now, she would have been 1. You know, so honor that loss as well. Remember that loss. Don't just kind of like stifle it or put it to the side or pretend it didn't happen, because it did. You know, that's a part of healing. You have to acknowledge, you have to go through, you know, the highs and the lows, the emotional roller coaster, in order for you to find that strength to keep pushing and be hopeful as well for the future. Because there's some people that go through it and they lose all hopes. They lose all hopes.
And I think also it's important to if you feel comfortable to speak about it.
Yeah.
Because there's such a stigma when it comes to miscarriages, and it's like a taboo, like, oh, you don't want to speak about it, you don't. But the more you speak about it, the more, you know, you'll find people who went through that situation.
Right.
And we see even celebrities are talking about it, like Chrissy Teigen, you know, John Legend's wife, she spoke about the miscarriage she had. Adrienne Bailon, she spoke about the miscarriage that she had. That she couldn't even bear a child, she ended up, you know, getting surrogacy. So maybe you or a loved one you know, has gone through this, had a miscarriage, and you want to share your story. Feel free to DM us. Feel free to write to us. Let us know your story. Let us know the tips on how you overcame your miscarriage or how that family member overcome, so that way we can get it out there for more people who may be struggling in silence.
Yes, and speaking up is raising awareness. Again,
Yes.
you are not alone in this battle, in this healing journey that you are in. And the more you speak about it, the more you're helping others actually, you know, reduce that stigma and actually being comfortable about speaking about it as well. So don't forget to share your experiences. If you feel comfortable, you can DM us, and we're going to go on a quick break right now, and we'll be right back.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
I know my gun should be stored locked and unloaded. But what good is a gun if it's not prepared for use? So instead, I'm prepared for misuse. I'm prepared to stop arterial bleeding in 3 minutes. Less for kids, they bleed out faster. My son just shot himself. Hurry. Access to firearms triples your risk of death by suicide. But that's not the only way to misuse a gun.
I think I heard Mama.
Misuse can happen when you least expect. So being prepared means knowing the difference between CPR for adults and kids. Unintentional shootings happen every day.
There's been another deadly shooting in a local elementary.
So that sense of safety my guns bring me
The gun he acquired from the family member's home.
can shatter in an instant.
The developing story, and we'll bring you more updates as they happen.
Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Real women, real talk. Breaking the silence is where stories become connections. Let's break the silence together.
Want more meaningful conversations? Well, then you're in luck, because you're watching Breaking the Silence.
I know, we just had a very serious conversation, but let's lighten the mood a little bit with Laugh Out Loud. So we're gonna bring out the best jokes that we think are the best, and by the end of the show, we'll see who will be the queen of comedy. She's already claiming defeat or claiming victory?
I'm claiming victory, of course. Just wait.
Okay, so since she's already claiming victory, let us, give her the spot, the first one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So,
what's your first joke?
First joke.
How many birds can change a light bulb?
How
many birds can change a light bulb? I don't know. How many birds can change a light bulb? Oh, you got me thinking. My mind is racing right now.
Ready?
No.
Okay.
How many birds can change a light bulb? No, okay, girl.
Only 2 can. Get it? The bird toucan?
Oh my gosh. No.
That was funny.
Nay. It's a nay. It's a nay.
Okay.
It's a nay.
Fine.
Okay.
Let's hear your joke then.
Okay. Who's gonna go?
Go ahead, you go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Why did the frog take the bus to work?
Why did the frog take the bus to work?
I need to laugh to make it laughable.
Why did the frog take the bus to work?
I don't know.
Why do
The
you
road was busy? I don't know.
Why do you guys take the bus? Oh, the frog. Ready?
I have no idea.
3,
Okay, go ahead.
2, 1.
Why?
Because his car got towed. That's funny. It's a yay. I got a yay, right? I knew it. I know.
Okay.
Car got towed. Okay. All right. I like that one. It was okay. It was okay. All right. I wrote mine down, y'all. Okay. How do you get a squirrel to like you? How do you get a squirrel to like you?
By acting nuts?
Yeah, you got it. Act like a nut.
I was about to say nuts, something about nuts. Okay.
Yay! I got
it.
All right. Okay.
Okay, now your
go
turn.
ahead.
Come on,
Yes.
redeem yourself.
I got it. I got it. Why can't a nose be 12 inches?
Why can't the nose be 12 inches? Why can't the nose be 12 inches?
Because that would be feet.
Because then it'll be a foot.
Yeah, I like that one. That was
Okay.
good. Yeah, she got a yay for that one. I like that.
All right, fine.
Okay, I like that
Actually,
one.
it's like begrudgingly.
Okay.
All
All right,
go.
next one. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
We all know that.
That was easy.
Hey, that was a good given, but it's a name. Whatever.
got a name?
Whatever. Okay, fine.
Name?
That was funny. Okay, fine. All right.
Aw.
Okay.
Sorry, Angelique.
All right.
You did
No
try, and I
worries.
did know that one. All right, next one for me. What do you call pigs who do karate?
A pork chop.
There you go.
That was good. That was good. I like that one. That was a yay.
Got it, a pork
Okay.
chop. All right.
Okay.
Why do bees have sticky hair?
Why do bees? Because they use
They don't
beeswax.
They don't like
Nope.
the comb.
They use a honeycomb.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean,
Come
on, that's yay. You got a yay.
Yay. Fine. All right. It's a yay.
I couldn't back there like
Okay. All right.
All right, go ahead, Angelique.
Okay. All right. What time is it when the clock strikes 13?
Time to get a new clock?
Yes.
How'd you get that one?
Because it's time to get a new clock. It's time to get a new clock because it's basically broken. It's not working.
Okay, all right, okay. Thank God I didn't
Yes,
say
I
what
got
I
a
was
yay
gonna
for
say.
that one.
What were you gonna say? We're gonna leave it at that.
You were going to be like, huh? There are 13
Okay.
numbers?
My go, right? My last one. What do you call shoes made from bananas? What do you call shoes made from bananas?
You're
Come on,
looking
Tia.
at me because
you got my other two. So you need to get this one.
I don't know.
What do you call shoes made from bananas? What do you call shoes?
I don't know.
made
Banana
from
hills?
bananas? No.
Slip shoe?
Slippers?
Yes, slippers. You got it. Did I get a yay? Yay!
Okay, you got another yay.
Yes, I got a yay. All right.
Okay, so we have our queen.
Yeah, I think we got a clear winner.
Who won? Ooh.
Yes, you won this time, Nori.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
bow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so
Thank
now
you very
don't
much.
tell us that you never win, okay?
Yes,
Because
no,
now
I
you
can't
got your
say.
first crown
Yes.
in this
The
year.
first one of the year?
I know.
Look at that.
See? Good start. You're off on a good start. That's good.
Listen,
Keep it up, okay?
Yes, yes.
Keep it up.
I will try my very best. But for the viewers, if y'all have jokes that you guys want us to share here on the show, make sure you DM us. Next time we do the Laugh Out Loud, we will definitely share it here on air.
Well, we got a lot of jokes, a lot of fun, but it's time for a break. And once we come back from the break, we are going to talk about on how to stay human in the age of artificial intelligence.
Yes. All right.
Laugh, learn, and love with Breaking the Silence. We'll be right back.
Did you receive a call or message that mentioned Social Security and demanded immediate action? Did the caller know your Social Security number or other personal information and tell you that your Social Security number had been used in connection with the crime? Did you feel worried that your Social Security number might be suspended, your bank account might be frozen or seized, or you could be arrested? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, demand your personal information or instant payment, email or text you pictures or documents, or use a real government official's name to gain your trust. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Do not be fooled. Hang up. Ignore them. Report this criminal activity to the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
You are now listening to Soul Food Podcast with Bishop Joshua.
Oh, yes, it is Soul Food.
Keep your faith alive.
This food will never expire.
Tune in on all podcast platforms.
Empowered women, empowering conversations. Stay with us on Breaking the Silence as we inspire and uplift each other.
Breaking the Silence is back. Let's keep the conversation going.
How do we keep the human touch alive in this rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, modern technology? We're almost losing touch of reality and also humanity. So how do we have this human connection to keep it and actually keep authenticity? Because as we know, although there are pros on technology, you know, it's making our lives easier, it's convenient, it's helping us in a lot of things. It's accessible as well, but how do we stay connected, like, you know, face-to-face connection with that human touch available?
And that's exactly what we're going to be discussing here, how to navigate through this AI age, you know, this technology age. You know, nowadays everyone is doing everything electronically, you know, that sense of nurturing, having empathy, you know, the physical touch, the contact, all of these things, little by little, you see it dying down. So that's why we're gonna kind of bring that up and kind of, you know, promote that, because we really, really do need that nowadays.
You know, we need to embrace the uniqueness, because each human is different. You know, even if you have twins, you don't see them act the same, behave the same, but you can always tell the difference between one and the other because the personality. So when we have that human touch, it's a little different than if it was just like monotone or everything the same, and that's what makes life more fun, you know?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, because nowadays you see people, they're more cold. They're cold in everything. No matter what it is, they might see on social media, they might read, just anything. There's no like care. There's no,
as you said, there's no
sensibility.
empathy.
You don't see that anymore. Back then, it's like you would see someone facing something, or someone would come to you and tell you something, and you would feel that person's pain. You would, you know, be with that person side by side, helping them along the way, you know, giving them that support that they need, physical support, emotional support, all of these things. But nowadays it's just like,
yeah, and I think with the rise of social media, it's really like hurt it so much, because it's like with social media, it's behind the screen, you know. You can be anonymous, you can post as whoever you are, you can say whatever you want to say to a person, and you don't see the consequence it has at the end. You know, you can, like, now they have this thing called like they'll say a lot like to kill yourself or something like that, like under people's comments and pictures, and the person who's saying that child or teenager, whoever is saying that, they're not seeing what their words is saying, how it's affecting that person, you know. So they're just thinking about how they feel, or they don't know, they don't have that sensitivity. Like, what if she actually does it?
Exactly.
What if she listens to me?
My question is, though, would that person have the guts to tell that person
to their
face to face,
right?
to do something like that? But nowadays, because of technology, because they're behind a screen, they could easily say it without feeling any type of way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a table full of people eating dinner together, talking through their phones.
Yes.
Oh my good, and we see that.
And
we
see that, in, you know, in family homes, even outside when you eat out. All you see, like, I remember there was a phase at one point that when you go to the subway or the bus, you just see people reading what, newspapers, books, magazines. Now you don't, maybe very rare that you would see someone reading a newspaper or holding a book. You would see them with what? A tablet, a smartphone, or anything, any device that they could, you know, play games or be connected to something. Although we're not saying that, okay, you need to have your phone's your device maybe for its work or emergencies purposes, but we see that we're really losing touch of human connection. You may even have your friend, a family member there with you on the table, but you don't even communicate. You communicate, yes, but through text. You're laughing, saying LOL, but your face is just serious.
Exactly. You know?
it's so weird. I'm like, huh?
You just made me feel some type of way.
Oh, did I hit a nerve?
If we're gonna be honest, right? I kind of have that bad habit. Like, I don't know, but for some reason, in my head, it's easier for me to text than to actually pick up the phone and call the person and speak to the person.
I'm the complete opposite.
I would rather text, and my husband's always like, stop texting, just call the person or go to the person. And I'm like, no, it's okay, I'm gonna text. But and it starts like that. Sometimes you might not think it's a big deal. Okay, fine, don't get me wrong. Artificial intelligence, technology, it has its benefits, but all in the name of what? Because we're losing that essence that we all had once upon a time of being genuine. Being genuine with one another, face to face. You know, nowadays people can text you, people can send you an emoji, but you don't really know how they feel because you're not seeing them. But when you do have that face-to-face contact, that face-to-face, you know, interaction, is a whole different ballgame. That can also aid in you bettering yourself as a person, because you're seeing that person, you're seeing their body language, you're seeing their demeanor, you're seeing if it was something positive or something negative, what can I do to change it? It's just so many things that it entails, you know?
And you know, it's so funny because, like, when I hear like topics like this, I think of movies where you see like robots taking over the world, like iRobot and things like that. And it's funny because today you see it slowly happening. You know, you see like the self-driving cars, you see like all of these things, and it's beneficial, you know, as we say. However, it can't make a human decision, you know? Like, if it's somebody crossing the street, like, and there's nowhere for it to stop, it's gonna do something to kill somebody. Like, somebody's gonna die in that situation, you know, because it doesn't think of the human life, like the way we think. It doesn't value life. It thinks about its programming, safety protocols, and this and that. So with that human touch, we can think of certain things, you know, we have that emotion that will help us, like maybe, you know, interviewing, let's say, and you hear the story of a person on paper, you see, and it's like, I don't think I want to give this person a job. But in person, when you see that person, you hear their story, it changes you. But imagine a robot doing the interview.
Yep.
And it goes only by what it's programmed to go by. That person who deserved the job, who needs the job, won't get it because it's just going based off of what it's told to do.
Yeah.
Or to make it even worse with that interview, as you're saying, you know, the other person looks excellent in paper, absolutely hireable. You can hire them on the spot, but when they go in an interview and they started to, you know, to interact with whoever's interviewing them, they don't know how to interact socially because they're so in touch with technology, with, you know, all the rapid advancement of technology, which can help them write a resume or essay. And again, these are so accessible nowadays, and they help if you have problems with communication, but we cannot rely on that solely. We cannot depend on that 100% because, again, we need humans to interact. We need us to socialize.
And you know, to piggyback off that topic of like essay writing and things like that, have you noticed basic things that we were taught as children, like how to read a clock or how to do this? Kids today, they can't do it.
Yeah,
which
they don't know it.
They can't, you know. And with
it.
this essay writing, I'm just thinking like, man, imagine this person passed to become a doctor. You know, they become a doctor, but they don't really know the information because they used to use AI to teach them how to do all of these things. So now, can you really trust in the hands of the doctors or this or that person who's supposed to have the knowledge but maybe don't because they use AI?
Exactly. Oh my goodness, there's so much that we could talk about. Listen, human connection, it's essential. It's essential for our well-being, overall well-being. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys heard situations like this. People, they lose relationships, they lose great things, they lose that, you know, credibility, or they just lose that connection with a person because that person was just so stuck on technology, on their device. And I've even heard, even through memes and even in real life stories where people would be like, hey, listen, if this device is so important for you, hey, stay with it, keep it, marry it, I'm gone. You know, nowadays we see people losing relationships, losing family, losing so many things, essential things, all because of technology, all because of these things. It's just slowly but surely is just kind of like dragging people apart, and that is very, very dangerous.
And it's true. It's like you do need that bond to make more deeper connections.
Exactly.
You know, like we're all married here. Imagine if we only talk to our husbands like virtually.
Oh no,
it wouldn't work because it's like you need that affection, you need that love, you need that deeper connection, and the only way you get that is by spending time together.
Exactly.
By being close to them, by, you know, embracing them, or, you know, being able to show your flaws and them accepting you. Like, what robot is gonna accept the flaw? Like, no robot is gonna, because they're built to be perfect. So then it's like, you're not perfect, get away from, you get what I'm saying? Like that's impossible for you to be to even compete with the robot. Like the way they mature and they get developed as humans, we can't compete with them.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And also, like with critical thinking skills,
yes,
you depend solely on technology. Even in a simple situation, you don't know how to react. There's a boiling water and it's spilled on you. What do? You don't know.
Google it.
Let me chat GPT. Do I shout, scream for help, call 911? Oh, it's burning. No, it's sad to see this happening. You know, although again, we emphasize that this modern technology is, you know, making advancements, yes, but we need to stay in touch. We need to stay human. We don't even know how to react on simple things. Imagine, like, I'm just talking about adults, not talking about like, you know, kids growing up nowadays, but adults who are solely depending on this. But how do we stay human? One thing, setting boundaries. You know, if you find yourself constantly on your phone, constantly on your devices and your gadgets, maybe it's time for you to set time, you know, for screen time. Maybe an hour a day, or maybe even less. Whatever, again, set realistic goals, right? You cannot just be like, okay, I'm just gonna remove all social media, not gonna use the phone. That's not gonna work. Let's be realistic here, because everyone and everything basically is running by, you know, technology. So maybe an hour a day or half an hour, you know, whatever will actually make you, you know, stop, you know, limiting your screen time.
Having balance, having discipline as well. I mean, that's key, because if it was up to us, we would stay stuck. We will stay glued on the computer, on the tablet, because it's much easier. You don't need to put in the work. You don't need to put in effort, because you just have everything. You have the power here at the tip of your hands. But that's not what's gonna help you as a person. That's not gonna help you when it comes to your family. That's not gonna help you when it comes to your spouse. That's not gonna help you when it comes to interacting and problem solving with another human being. That is not going to help you. So I think discipline is very important. We need to have that discipline, always, always.
Yes, and you know, you can use it as well to stay connected with your family. As I always say, me and my loved ones, we're far from each other. We're not close. You know, we're in different states. My brother is in Philadelphia. I'm here in Texas. My sisters and other brothers in Georgia. But we use technology like FaceTime. Like, it was recently my sister's birthday. And so we all got on FaceTime to wish her a happy birthday. You know, because in our house, birthdays were like very big, and we had to call each other at midnight. So already at 12 o'clock, I'm already calling her, wishing her a happy birthday, things like that. So we use it as a way to stay connected with our loved ones, especially those who are far.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said earlier, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I've taught my mom how to use the device, and now when I call her through regular phone call, she won't answer me. But if I video call her, she answers the phone. All of a sudden, she knows how to answer it, which is fine. You know, she can be able to do things on her own, you know, without having to depend on another person. But there has to be that
and you
balance.
can see the person, you know, you see that face to face, you know, like when you hear the voice, it's different. They're like, wow, I haven't seen you in so long. So it's like you bond as well, because you're seeing that person as well.
Go.
Yeah.
There you go.
When you're far, you can use it. But when you're like this, hey, please, can you FaceTime me, Nori, right now? Can we FaceTime? Because, again, it is beneficial when we are miles and miles and miles apart. But when you do have your loved ones close to you, you know, set that time apart for you to enjoy that face-to-face connection, bonding, communicate, because nowadays we barely communicate, you know, so we need to enhance that. We need to enhance that, especially nowadays that, again, there's a rapid advancement of technology and also artificial intelligence. But that's it for this topic. If you do have some comments or anything that help you, or maybe some facts that you know, please feel free to share your DM with us. But now we're gonna go on our question of the day. For those of you who are just tuning in now, our question of the day is, share an interesting fact you learned recently.
Okay.
And we actually have some wonderful people who share their interesting facts today. So let's pull up our first one. It's coming from Gigi. Lemons aren't a naturally occurring fruit, but a natural hybrid of oranges and citrons.
Oh, I've heard that. Like, we made it.
Oh, so it's man-made.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
interesting.
It's a hybrid, it's crossbreed.
Thank you, Gigi.
Thank
Look
you
at
for
you
that.
educating me. All right, thank you. All right, we do have our next comment, which is from Sushila. Did you know?
Do you love sushi?
Did you know that the sun is actually super loud, but we can't hear it because sound doesn't travel through space? Really?
I wonder what it says. What does the sun say?
Yeah, how does it sound?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like,
I didn't know that.
Really?
Okay, thank you for that, girl. Look at that. I'm learning stuff here today.
And we have our last one from Novia. get ready. Woodpeckers' tongues are so long, they wrap around their brain to prevent concussions while pecking the tree at high speed.
You have got to be kidding me.
And the birds are so tiny. Like if you see it, the head is so tiny.
This one actually is a surprise.
Mind blown.
Yeah,
Yes.
like they wrap around their brain. Ooh, okay, Novia.
So, Angeli, what's yours?
Yeah, so talking about brain, my interesting fact today is about brain. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
60% of brain is actually made of fat. So it's the fattiest organ of the body. Can you believe that?
Wow,
Yes.
interesting. It's the fattiest organ of the body.
Okay.
Interesting. I didn't know that. What about you, Tia?
Okay, so mine is interactive, so I'm gonna need y'all to help me.
Okay.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
So you cannot hum while holding your nose. So like. So everybody hold your nose. Ready?
I've tried that before.
1, 2, 3. You can't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's.
But you heard I did though. I did it. It happened.
So you were that one rare person.
But she probably didn't hold it properly. Maybe that's why you
Try it
still
again.
had.
No, I'm not gonna try it again. No, y'all putting me on the spot here.
Okay, so
Oh my
what's your
goodness.
interesting fact?
So my interesting fact is that, no, I don't have an interesting fact. I really don't. I was really trying. And listen, you can boo me, you can shoo me all you want, but I don't have an interesting fact today. I really, truly don't, you know.
Oh, well, if you do have an interesting fact for Nori.
I have one for Nori.
All right.
90% of watermelons are made from water.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
90% of watermelons are made from water.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a good hydration.
You see, 90% of watermelons are made from water. There
Okay,
you go.
Nori.
There goes my interesting.
You just won a segment. Anyways, that is our fun facts, interesting facts for the day. Right now, we're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The show isn't over yet. Don't change the channel. We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, you know an interesting fact?
Tell me.
That we can actually teleport from one set to another. And you know what that's called? Walking. That's interesting. You see, that's human connection right there.
Another joke for Angela.
Yeah. I should have won. Anyways, it was really a jam-packed show today, ladies. We had some fun, but we also had some serious topics like the one we talked about, miscarriage, you know, how to deal with loss. It's a sensitive topic, but again, as we mentioned, we are raising awareness and reducing that stigma for those who are experiencing it, who've experienced it, and you know, still grieving on that loss. Because again, it's never easy, and you can never really tell someone to just brush through it, brush it off, or just move on, or just forget about it.
Exactly, and these are things that are often, I feel that is often not spoken about, so it's good to shed some light on it. And you guys are our fourth host, so anything that you want to share on it that would help somebody, you can always feel free to DM us, you know, because raising awareness, you know, motivating and doing all of these things, That's what we're about. There goes our QR code that you can be able to scan, and you can send in maybe your experience. You want us to share it here on Breaking the Silence. You can feel free to message us.
Yes, and it's important for us to stay human in this age of technology. As we see it advancing, we have to remember that we have to keep this human touch. We have to remember that we hold on to it, because if we don't, then technology is going to take over the world.
There you go. But we do want to remind you guys about Kings. You can always feel free to watch Kings 7 days a week. There you go. That's the time. But that is all the time we have for today, ladies. It was a great show, but we're going to have to say
bye.
See ya.